teach and educate.
How are you connecting and collaborating to get support for your mission?
I have a nonprofit, Wisdom Foundation, wisdom-foundation.com. We teach financial literacy. We educate to second chance, brothers coming out of incarceration. We talk to single mothers, which my mother was a part of that community as well. We educate people that, people that don't have the finances and the means to go out and get the type of education. We talk to a lot of, people that is in transition from homeless and things like that. So I'm just an advocate of that, but also I've had my radio show, YouTube, and I've, done a lot of different marketing out here. I do a lot of traveling as well.
Okay. How do you stay fulfilled, motivated, and maintain your work-life balance as a business owner?
Um, I I have other businesses. Like I said, I teach. I teach financial literacy. I started to try to stay committed to the community. I pray a lot. I meditate a lot. I and I just try to stay focused on why I'm here. A lot of people don't do really self inventory. They're Marvin. I'm the funding CEO, and I'm Meta Marvin, and I got all these names that people call me. But I always tell people, don't get caught up in the ego. At the ego, don't get caught up in the egotistical piece of business. Just remember, you do have a purpose and you do have a mission here, and we're not just these meat suits walking around. We are here for something, and so that keeps me grounded into understanding that I have a whole lot more work to do.
What is the why behind what you're doing? Because I heard you say you market a lot to second chance offenders coming out. My son, I do a lot of community work myself. I have a
Yeah.
nonprofit, and I was pleased to. I'm a mom of two children, and my son came home and he said, "Mom, I thought of this app." He got a job with the city of Raleigh about 2 summers ago. And he said,
Hmm.
I thought of an app to be able to give resources to people coming out of jail and connect them to housing and to connect them to those things. And I was
Hmm.
just so proud as a mom. And so
Hmm.
I was like, he's picked up on some of this community building that I do. Why are you looking after a target audience that's most often overlooked?
Um, I think it hit home. I've never, have never been incarcerated myself. Just putting that out there, but it's just brought. I could have easily been there. It was affected from my father, my biological father, my uncle. I just seen how a lot of time, a lot of great moments was taken away, not only from me but from family members. And I just see that just one bad decision, it could really mess up your whole life. And a lot of these people are just, not in judgment zone, but they're just good people that just made bad decisions. So I've always had a soft piece in my spirit to, always want to, tell them that they, of course, that second chance, give them something that they can be able to understand and know that if they could take this information and apply it to their lives, they don't have to go back to that, that old temperament, that old mindset.
How do you describe your resilience as an entrepreneur? We know that as an entrepreneur, you just can't stop. You got to keep it going. You got to keep it grinding. You got to keep it moving. How
Hmm.
do you describe your resilience as an entrepreneur?
Um, I think it's just part of what God put in my journey. Again, going into the desert storm at 17.
You got
I
to be
had to find
resilient.
something. Yeah, that was resilient. I was a child, underage, only child. That alone. So my mom, they really did was against it, but because they had to sign one because I was underage. Second, I was the only child, but it was
How
just
you
something
convince
that
mama to give her baby to the United States Army? Like
I
I'm going. You better sign this, mama.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, well, I was a little challenged as a child. I wasn't a poster boy. I was so I had to let her know I think this was the best for me, mom, and it was. It was. I could have went to college and did some things, but at that time, I saw what was going on at home and some things with me personally, and I really wanted to not so much grow up, but I wanted to see the world and really get outside of the box of what most normal kids see, because I knew I had a great mind, but I felt like I needed a challenge, and I didn't think that college at that time was going to be best for me.
So resilience started even before you became an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it did. It did. It did. I think life is, it is what you make it. But I do feel that you have to have that tenacity and that mindset to, step into those areas that's unknown, and see what's going on. And sometimes you got to learn how to fly. You got to learn how to jump off that mountain and learn how to fly sometimes on your own, and I think that a lot of times I could have, bellied up on a lot of businesses. I could have went bankrupt. I could have, been a lot of challenges, that a lot of entrepreneurs face. Right now, I have 4 different businesses and a nonprofit, and I say that because those are all pieces of me. I have a media company as well. I have a finance company. I have a consulting company, and I do also have a spiritual company that I teach spiritual principles with as well. And then I also have a nonprofit. But I mean, that's just who I am. It's a piece of all those is a piece of me. So you have to have, you got to have a type of focus and, be a little bit resilient when you want to make sure that you're doing things that you can definitely help people with, because a lot of people are going to ask for help, and it's not easy. Our community, sometimes they want the easy way, out, and not just us, but a lot of people in general. But I've had to step away and make sure that the things that I had to do, like spending my money and making sure that I'm not asking for help. How I work for you for free. What do I need to do? Understanding what it feels to be, well, someone just telling you, no, I don't want to work with you. I'm not interested. I have to give that off to my community so they can understand. You got to have that thick skin, but your heart don't has to change. But you got to know sometimes those 20 no's can be that great number, that great yes. So you got to be glued into something, because anything that don't really have a strong foundation, I say, hey guys, a lot of guys started out here with what I have, Tamisha, and a guy that was doing corporate ticketing, and then within 5 years, I have funding credit. I have a non-depository bank, a franchise lending. I'm the only competitor in North Carolina to Lending Tree. That's self-taught. I didn't go to college for it. I went to college. I didn't go to college for banking and finance, but I've proven myself to know what I need to know about educating, about finance, and about funding. And and so I say that in a way that if you set your mind to it, you can do whatever you want to do. I tell people all the time, you, as long as you say yes, the answer will be yes. So
Okay, so you talked about resilience as a form of as a function of foundation, as a function of not giving up, as a function of making sure that there are clear boundaries so that you don't get burnt out and you're not over helping other people. Can you tell me what are some benefits of being an entrepreneur?
oh wow, oh man, it's so much. You got this just empowerment of being, just having an EIN number. That's a duplicate of yourself, but you can move as a business. Let's just get to the basics. United States is a corporation. We're supposed to move as a corporation. So there's tax benefits, there's overrides, there's partnerships, there's relationships. There's a lot of things that you can leverage. There's a lot of things that you could separate from your personal life if you put everything inside of your business. Um, there's a lot of different, opportunities when it comes with working as, with nonprofits. if you're in business as well. And I just think it's just when it comes to building generational wealth, um, you're not, 9 times out of 10, you can't be an employee and live in the type of neighborhood that your boss going to live in, and nobody's going to really pay you what you're worth. You can be the best. You might think that, but I'm just
Not
a
living in a
person.
capitalist society. And the
No,
capitalist society
no,
is about finding
no.
somebody to pay them and capitalizing off of their talents. Okay,
Yeah.
so I get that. Tell us about your creation, some of the materials you use. Tell us about, so you're into finance, you're into ministry, you're into production. I heard and I heard four areas. What's that fourth one? And the
Um. Well, let's see. Universal Command Global. I have consulting, more
consulting.
consulting,
Okay.
consulting. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yep.
And so
So, yeah.
list those businesses real quick. What are they
What's
again?
that?
Name all those businesses again.
Okay. I have Paradigm Financial Consultants. I have Universal Command Global. I have metamarvin.com. I have wisdomfoundation.com and Paradigm Universal. I think that's four, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Now, what
Yeah.
are some obstacles you faced along the way in building these businesses?
Um, I think Tamisha, a lot of things that I do, some type of way, I feel like even though probably not, but to me, um, I don't have, it seems like I'm always usually the paradigm shifter. I usually the first one to get into a certain area of the businesses that I feel that I'm trying to facilitate. It's not a lot of people that can like mentor you in that area. I would say there probably are, but based on the surroundings that I had, there wasn't a lot of to go to people in our community, and I think that was probably the biggest challenge. So I would always have to, I did a lot of my financial technology and a lot of my financing. I learned a lot of that from out of the state of Utah.
Okay.
And that's interesting. There's a bunch of Mormons out there, right, in the mountains, but it's interesting. But they're the guys that pretty much pioneered the good old Sin City of Las Vegas. They like, yeah, they did the entertainment. Who you think did the books? We're next door. So I was like,
Mm.
gotcha, makes sense. So yeah, they're behind the scenes, but they're probably the number one economy in the country. People don't understand that, but Utah it's mind blowing right there.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
I saw a documentary where they blowing out the mountain walls and having a whole having whole communities over there with several wives. I'm like, how they doing all that? Because
well,
they understand the books, they understand how to make the money, they understand
yeah,
how to,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
And I mean, we're not going to go there, but that whole that wife thing is about wealth as well. That's what they believe. That's
Mhm.
their whole thing. So I get it. I didn't really see too much of that out there though. Maybe I wasn't looking for it and recognizing it, but I did see how far they was ahead of most people, almost in comparison of Silicon Valley when it comes to technology and finance.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
What experience have shaped your leadership style? I know the military had to be one of them. As far as your leadership style, what else has contributed to how you lead in your business?
Um, I think it was probably the way I grew up. My grandmother. I made sure that her and my mom was definitely part of my book. Is they strong Black women, man. I gotta give it to you guys. Just being accountable. You have to be accountable. Not playing victim. And you got to just understand, man, that you got to stand out here and you have to really know that if you're going to be in business, then you really got to be in business. You can't go out here and sort of fake it till you make it in a lot of areas. You have to really be that. A lot of people, everything that I did, Tamisha, when it comes to mentioned non-depository bank. I mentioned that's really just a big word. that I bought into a financial technology franchise, and I can walk into a bank and introduce myself of who I am, and they would be more open to giving me their turn downs, meaning that how can I say it? Well, just imagine, Tamisha, about how many people have walked into the banks and credit unions over the last 10 years and got turned down for a loan, right? Okay, so who do they give their data to?
It sounds like you.
Thank you.
And
So
so how you maneuver that? You walked in, it's like, yeah, so everybody y'all don't want to give money to, I'll take them.
yeah,
I just
right.
need the
Yeah, yeah.
information.
Had to pay for that. Had to pay for that. You know, that's why I said I had to get into those rooms. So me as Marvin Wilson, no matter how much I knew, they wouldn't have done that. But for me, getting accreditation and getting behind, those,
EIN number and the
label.
certifications opens up
Yeah.
a little bit more doors for you, huh?
Yeah, it did. Yep, yep. And then, again, Charlotte is one of the one of the centers of banking.
Banking.
And I figured that this was been a great time. And for me stepping into that, the lending, I was doing the personal credit, I was doing the business credit, and I was teaching it, and I was educating the people about the power of their EIN number, so separating yourself from your social security number so you can be more at an advantage to the banks, because you have to have certain accreditations in business credit and business to even ask for a certain amount of money. People don't know that. There is no credit debt ratio in business credit. There is no such thing. You're supposed to make millions in business. But at the end of the day, when I saw COVID hit, Tamisha, I got a call from a colleague, and it was like, Marvin, I think this looks just like you. And that was this Utah thing I'm telling you about. He said, I think you need to buy into this. They got a franchise. It's like a banking model. It's like a financial technology bank, like an online bank.
Wow,
I think this thing is going to move this way. I said, you think so? He said, I know so. And so, I think, Tamisha, probably if you could think back, nobody would, like a human, anybody couldn't walk into a bank during COVID, probably for maybe 17, 18, 19 months during that time, right?
economic reset. I don't know about the code. Economic reset.
Yeah.
Well, what's up? What's happening with the dollar right now? So you probably know all about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's right now, people going in credit card debt, people, paying stuff back that they did during COVID, and it's got them upside down. The dollar is, it's not even worth anything right now. And people really got to start thinking outside of the box. So in financial technology, where I'm coming from, I'm trying to show people on being able to make passive income in a lot of other ways. And even though I work closely with the banks, but I'm trying to teach people about, maybe whole life insurance, decentralized, banking, just different extensions, the trading, and just a lot of different other areas that we can be putting our money into, that we don't have to work it and let our money work for itself. And so, I just love it because I can give a lot of people other opportunities than what FDIC can do. This this regulated bank stuff that we have to deal with. I can deal with people in, I could just take it from, I've worked with people on the West Coast, anything that's legal. I've worked with the people that comes from the CBD cannabis world. That's legal out there. I've got funding for people there. They're doing it legal. No judgment. I work with people that own casinos. I work with people that needs funding with tobacco. There's a lot of people here in North Carolina right now. Popular is the cigar shops. People smoke cigars, but they can't get funding with banks because it's a restricted NAC code with that. And this is supposed to be Tobacco Road, right? It's supposed to be North Carolina. You can't. So they coming to me in droves.
It was only good for Philip Morris. It was only.
Yeah. Right. Now I remember that. And that's what's so interesting about that. So anyway,
good old one network. That's how capitalism is. That's the heart of it. As we watch it fall apart.
Yeah.
And so people the Black Business Network is about people like me and you getting the information from each other so that we can grow and that we can become players in this capitalist society. As we move to the top of the hour, I've got one more question for you. Lastly, what advice would you give to other aspiring entrepreneurs based on your experiences?
I would tell them to do as much research on what you're trying to get into, as much as possible. Have an in, but have an out. Meaning that, if something, definitely, God forbid something happens, make sure that you're not, not too top heavy. I would always say, stay focused, be around the camaraderie of the people that inspire to be.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely, keep some type of level of faith, or stand for something, or fall for anything. So don't be scared to be individualized, and be you, be authentic. If you're energetic and you're loud and you're whatever, if that's you and you're professional and you're not trying, your intention is good, be that. You will have your own mental tribe will come to you. Don't worry about the people. They will show up. If you be you, they're going to show up. They're going to, don't worry about that. God shows up in people, places, and things. That's that Meta Marvin in me. I know that. So don't worry about the money. It'll show up. Come and get the best advice via me or anybody else that can show you the temperature of what really business look like. But I would definitely say this, last but not least, I know it might sound crazy to people in businesses out here that's busting their tail to make this money and keep this business going. But again, don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the money. Make it a little bit more deeper soil than that. It's got to be a little bit deeper. It's got to be something a little bit deeper of your why or why you're doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And my last thing I always tell people, money, Black people, money. Money is my own natural energy yield. MONEY is not the green stuff, right? It's almost like the casting of my I am. Money is my own natural energy yield, is what I say about my business. It's what I see coming into my business. It's what I say, how I can serve with my business, not about how much money I'm going to make, how many people I can serve. And I guarantee you, you'll be successful.
Well, you've heard it, guys, from Marvin Wilson. He has given us an expose of what makes him tick, what the businesses he has, some of the obstacles he has seen in building and growing his business. And he's saying you got to get to the why. Genius is coming. We'd like to thank you. We see you on the other side, Mr. Wilson.
Thank
you. Mm-hmm. The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or use Cash App that's on the screen below, which is $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts, so we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We want to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for April 2023, starting with NC 100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Rich Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, Barbara H. Smith, LLC, Margie McLean Foundation, Incorporated, Genius is Coming, Earth Essentials, Milani Shani Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Forces Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic App Design, and the Black Business Expo USA. Genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
Did you know that approximately 333.34 million businesses exist today, according to a report from 2021? And you may be one of those businesses, or maybe you're not in the business market yet, but you're aspiring to be a business owner. Well, guess what? You're in the right place at the right time. Because let's face it, everything is about timing and opportunity. Hi, my name is Dr. Lotus Richey, and I'm the CEO and founder of the Lotus Richey Coaching and Consulting LLC, along with the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. 15 minutes of success with Dr. Lotus Richey, as well as books to boom your business and bring who you are. And today, I want to bring this amazing message to you about the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. See, the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics is designed to help people just like you, that's right, that look like me, to take their business to the next level. Not just in your front yard or your backyard, but globally. The Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics is designed not to just help you survive, but to help you thrive. So join us today as we come together with businesses all around the world to support our students, our children, our young teens, our young entrepreneurs. What we do is we come together to help raise funds for students who are aspiring to be business entrepreneurs, who are aspiring and who are thriving in college. We endow them with a wonderful opportunity to gain scholarship of either a laptop or several thousands of dollars. And we invite you to help be a contributor to this amazing opportunity to help someone that looks just like you. So join us today at our website and let us connect with you and help you ignite and take flight in every area of your life on the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. I'll see you on the other side.
I'd like you to imagine with me, if you will, opening an app where you can collaborate with like-minded individuals from around the world, get inspiration and in-app tools to launch and grow your business, as well as share your knowledge and earn compensation, all in one app. Well, the name of that app is Truso, short for Truly Social. Hi, I'm Matthew Newman, the founder and CEO of Truso. A new concept in social media, Truso is designed from the ground up to be a platform that's both social and empowering for all its users. How exactly do we do that? I'm glad you asked. First, Truso brings the world together via video. Psychologists assert that video provides a significantly more effective connection than audio only. When you enter a community on Truso, you're face to face. Second, on Truso, you don't have to have 1 million followers to monetize. Our business model allows all hosts and moderators to monetize, no matter the size of your following, by 1, producing fee-based content, and 2, inviting others to join the platform as subscribers. Even more, Truso has an in-app resource library with over 100 free resources, forms, and documents to help you build your brand and grow your business. Third, Truso is inclusive. The deaf and hard of hearing communities make up 360 million people worldwide. Unlike audio-only apps, Truso embraces this community, providing a networking platform that allows them to participate via video and closed captioning. We even have a deaf and hard of hearing foundation in the works as well. Fourth, Truso is both social and safe. We refer to Truso as a virtual extension of the beauty shop, barbershop, and brainchild of the community. A place where there's laughter, along with wisdom, growth-oriented conversation, and genuine connections in a safe space. Truso even has proprietary security to ensure we maintain a safe environment for everyone. Where are we at now? Truso is live, y'all. We've launched in beta and we're acquiring users daily. We have an incredible development and marketing team, plus amazing celebrity influencers at the table, helping us spread the word around the globe, beginning within the African diaspora and beyond by creating a safe space for growth, connection, and collaboration. We're truly excited about Truso. We've created something special for which there is a global market. And we invite you to embark on this journey with us as a shareholder. The future for Truso is truly bright. Join us and let's go there together.
This is Dr. Arnold T. Petsworth. Yes, that's his given name. No, don't look into it. He's the owner of Petsworth Vet World, a veterinary clinic in Hopton, Connecticut. His patients include dog, cat, turtle, cat, turtle, frog, hamster, fish,
Goldie?
dog, and this alpaca. Due to doctor-patient confidentiality, we can't tell you their names. Business at Vet World was steady, and then quarantine hit. Neighbors on every lane, drive, and even a few cul-de-sacs brought new four-legged friends into their homes. Bunnies. Bunnies.
You guys are so cute.
Bunnies.
You are so cute.
Bunnies.
You're so cute.
Bunnies everywhere. A lifelong lover of Laporte, Dr. Petsworth welcomed these new patients with open arms.
Hi, how you doing? How is she? Did you meet Jackie? Jackie, Barbara, Jackie? This is Betsy.
The only problem?
Okay.
There were more appointments than he could manage.
Yes, I'm gonna get to you. Give me a second. We're gonna get you in real soon. Don't worry, all right? And then...
That's when Dr. Petsworth turned to his American Express business card, which offers flexible spending limits that adapt with his business. He decided to hire a new assistant, Julio, who's actually more of a bird guy. But that's just between us. And with the power to make big purchases in his hands, he used his card to furnish a new exam room with extra tail space. Together, Dr. Petsworth, Julio, and American Express Business made sure all the pets of Hopton got the love and care they deserved.
All right, Julio, man, that was great, man.
And everyone was happy. Especially these guys. Get the card built for business by American Express.
Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America. And my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I want to reach 1 million plus women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success.
Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business.
Join Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world.
Are you a forward-thinking entrepreneur or business owner? The world is changing faster than ever, and it's time to pivot and adapt to the future. Hello LLC is here to help you do just that. Hello stands for helping enterprises leverage leading-edge optimizations. Our innovative solutions can streamline operations, reduce overhead costs, and give you a competitive edge in a market projected to reach $5 trillion by 2030. By pivoting to the metaverse, businesses can tap into a rapidly growing market that is projected to be a significant part of daily life for 25% of Americans by 2026. As a full digital metaverse agency, the Hello LLC can help you create custom solutions to streamline operations, increase productivity, reduce costs, and drive brand recognition. Why should you pivot to the metaverse with the Hello LLC? By leveraging cutting-edge technology, you can provide immersive experiences for your customers, expand your global reach, and unlock new revenue streams. Contact us today to make the pivot.
On thermometers, 2,000 surrounding us. Travel 2,000 kilometers to hang out with us. What's up, danger? What's up, danger? Hey, didn't know they doubted us. Makes it that more marvelous. Sign them up, cause ominous vibes and I get synonymous. What's up, danger? Hey, don't be a stranger, cause I like high chances that I might lose. I like it all on the edge, just like you. Hey, I like tall buildings so I can leap off of them. I go hard with it, no matter how dark it is. I'm insane, but on my toes. I could keep the world balanced on my nose. I had a slumber party with all my foes. Now I wear them like a badge on all my clothes. If I'm crazy, I'm on my own. If I'm waiting, it's on my throne. If I sound lazy, just ignore my tone. Cause I'm always gonna answer when you call my phone. Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger? Blindfold on. Mama always asking where did I go wrong. What's up, danger? What's up, danger? Travel 200 miles, I'm knocking at your door. And I don't really care if you ain't done wrong. Come on, what's up, danger? Don't be a stranger. I like it when trouble brews, I won't dare change. I like it when there's turbulence on my airplanes. I like it when I sense things that I can't see yet. Swimming with sharks when they ain't feed yet. Cause I like high chances that I might lose. I like it all on the edge, just like you. Ay, I like tall buildings so I can leap off of them. I go hard with it, no matter how dark it is. If I'm crazy, I'm on my own. If I'm waiting, Just ignore my tone, cause I'm always gonna answer when you call my phone. Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger? Can't stop me now.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good night, depending where you're at. Business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations, welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM, where we help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. I'm your business moderator for this evening on the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Our next speaker is Yolanda Christensen. Yolanda is a former executive business development manager for the third largest risk management brokerage firm on the globe, with over 27 years of experience in business administration, finance, human resources, client development, and event planning. Yolanda Christensen is now founder and owner of Benevolent Art LLC, an experienced caregiver. As an artist, Yolanda is using her God-given talents to impact others globally. Her truth passion is sharing African history and self-expressions through creating a variety of mixed media for her clients. I present to you Yolanda Christensen.
Thank you, Grant. It's such a pleasure to be here. How are you doing this afternoon?
I am doing just wonderful. It's evening for me. I am in Miami, Florida. Normally at this time, I would excuse myself, but we're going to be in a fireside chat. We're going to have a business to business discussion about what you're doing to help the African diaspora really gravitate and elevate and get to a whole new renaissance, if I can use that term to someone who appreciates art like yourself, a new renaissance of experience. So first of all, tell us about your business.
I am the owner of Benevolent Art LLC, And what we do, we exist to transform the lives of caregivers around the world. And starting here locally in my community, we have about 200 in which proceeds of my art creations are given in the form of a gift card anonymously. I also work with the local merchants and first responders in the area just to make the caregivers feel more appreciated, just to have them, enjoying themselves, especially for them, to be a better part of society, to feel stronger, and healthier, and just to help them thrive.
Man, that's at first that's very benevolent of you. Hence the name, right? Is that what you're so from a philanthropic area or from a charitable area? What I mean, you were doing something else. You have your history, your career history is pretty broad, but then you decided on doing art, to give to others. Give us some better context of what's your passion around the art?
The inspiration, Grant, is because I was a caregiver for my loved ones. And after working almost 30 years for corporate America, after my mother transitioned, I decided that I didn't want to go back to corporate America, that I wanted to be more of a beacon of light to others and being kinder, more kinder than I have been by giving back. And, it told me with me sometime, this connection I have with God, sometimes we want it to happen right away, but it didn't. And when it did, my father was actually transitioning. He had chronic kidney disease. And in that time, I went to a paint and sip. However, I didn't sip, I just painted. And it just came back to me from, as a child, I loved art. My father was an artist. And that's what inspired me. Hey, I can use what I have, these gifts and talents, to give back. I can monetize, but I can also give back because of my experience of being alone, caring for others. You don't have time to care for yourself. So that's inspiration.
That's a beautiful inspiration. If you would be so kind, you just shared something in your personal life. Obviously, we know about transitions; those things are very, very tough. But talk to me about how you actually made someone feel. I mean, how they lit up when you gifted them with some of your art that you talked about earlier. I want to know, do you have an interesting story around that you like to tell?
I have several, but one in particularly, there's a woman that lives down the road. I feel like God has given me this gift to be able to identify and connect. Most of the caregivers that I give to through the state of Maryland, through the Senior Office on Aging, because of the HIPAA laws, it's anonymously given. They don't know me, and that's fine. But one of my neighbors assisted me at one time because, taking care of two parents, you need to take them to the doctor. And my mother wasn't mobile at that time. And this beautiful woman recently lost her husband. And I gifted her a, a bracelet that I got from one of my sponsors that had pink crystal, which pink crystal signifies love and, heart and faith. And she just broke down in tears. A lot of caregivers don't feel that they deserve because they're so busy giving for so many. So I believe overall the impact can be amazing. And I like the fact that they're strangers. Yeah. It doesn't have to be someone that I know. So that's the more of the impact is, not even being in their presence to even see, but I can still receive that energy by giving.
Well, the energy is abundant. I mean, it's a blossom is what it is. And the fact they don't even know you don't really have to know them, but you're gifting them, you're giving them, a moment of joy that they weren't even expecting. And you already know that that's going to heal them. No matter what they're going through, it's going to be a better day. It's going to be a better day for you and for them. I want to pivot just a little bit and ask you about the art that you're doing. Give the audience an understanding of the type of art that you're doing and what you're presenting as a service.
Most of my pieces, I have themes, and most of the pieces that I've created have a story behind them, and they focus mainly on the woman of African descent. And so most of my paintings are original paintings. And like I say, they consist of the woman, they're queens. I have one that I'm working, they have names and they have poems. I'm working on one right now to give you an example, and her name is Willingness.
Mm.
Willingness, just think of that word. We have to have a willingness to do things, even through trauma, even caregiving. We have to have that willingness to get up in the morning after not having any rest from caring for a loved one who needs total care. But when you have that willingness, your light still shines. So most of them have meaning, because life to me is definitely meaningful. So that is what I do. Most of them have poems, and they're very colorful. I don't know if you can see the one behind me.
Yeah, we see
this
it.
one
Beautiful.
is about me. This one is about me because during the time as a caregiver, you lose a lot of self-esteem, especially when you come from working in corporate America. And I had to do some soul work, and I continue to do soul work every day. And as you see, this is a woman's body here. I don't know if you can see it, but we have heaven in life, we have hell, we flourish, and we transform. This is a butterfly. So that is one of the paintings. And of course, it has a poem behind it.
That's touching me. I feel that. That's a good feeling. There's a story behind there. There's several different themes that I see in just that one piece. Now, does a person go to a gallery? Do you have an art gallery? Are you online? How do they acquire your service?
I'm on several social media platforms. I just actually started to share my art because, as a caregiver, building my confidence. And so right now, you can reach me on social media, Instagram. You can reach me on Facebook as well as Twitter. And my website is actually under construction. Hopefully that will be done the end of this week. But yes, I am looking forward to making myself well known and sharing my art to the world.
And your art, so your art is, you have a studio, you have a home studio, you're at home and you're creating a canvas. So you're really a artist, painter. That's your art, so you're not making, any kind of, physical thing other than the art. Is that correct?
I'm not sure what you mean physical, because it all is physical.
Well, it's all physical. I should say that, but picturing, when I think of art has so many things.
Absolutely.
You could be making a vase if that's what you're doing. You could be, creating digitally if that's what you're doing. So there's different, and some artists do all of that. They could be making all kinds of different things because you're very creative, and the fact that you're using your creative self to actually create and put yourself into the art, I think that's wonderful. So I'm just curious now. So I'm picturing you. There's Yolanda. She's got a studio in her home and she's making these creations. So I want to be like, how do I see all of the creations? So that's what you're saying. If you got a Facebook or Instagram, like, hey, here are the creations. Now, is it more of an e-commerce store that people are like, hey, you've already assigned a price, or how do you do that? Sometimes the artists, you're like, it goes out to bid. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways of doing it.
Well, right now, as I am flourishing out my art, to answer the first question, I use a variety of mediums. I paint on glass, I use wood. You know, we are art, Grant.
Yeah.
So the art begins with us inside. So I use a lot of different mediums. Whatever my hands and my mind gets together and do, you know, we can create. And that's what I believe. As far as e-commerce will be available on my website. And Cash App, you know, Zelle. Yeah, there's so many different ways and means of digital currency. So
I know, I work a lot in the healthcare field, a lot of hospitals, and I see art that's donated to hospitals or clinics, and they'll put them on display. Say, hey, all I ask that you put it on display with my contact information. And so if people like the art, they really like the art, then they can contact me to either get a copy of this one, or you make something new for them. But it's a good way of marketing yourself, and which it helps everybody, because you just talked about being a caregiver, and you want to be able to give to a lot of people. I know that I've seen people do that. I don't know if you've done that before, but it's a great way to really expand your brand. Word of mouth is always the best, and you have people like, wow, who did that? Or maybe it's in someone's room, and it's, that inspired me through a very challenging episode in my life. Who is the artist? Type of thing.
yes, absolutely. I want the person or the people who encounter my creations to feel the story in the art and how it can be reflective of their lives, because we are a culture, the Black community, and we've been faced with so much trauma. And especially, we have been caregivers from the beginning of time. So I would definitely like to hear more about how we can connect, because I would love to have my art in a hospital, just to share it. Because God is plentiful to me, I don't have to worry about anything.
Oh no, we will definitely get that hooked up, and people would love to have that. I think art is on its way back in this newer age. I think we've expanded ourselves where we understand the analytical side of life, but there's a whole creative side. When you can begin to merge those two, I believe we come into a renaissance of a newer age, because people are they're getting burnt out on just the numbers. And unfortunately, in corporate America, that's all you hear about is the numbers. You're like, well, it's not all about the numbers, so we are having a human experience here, and we want to be able to reflect on that and make it memorable and make it impactful and purposeful. I wanted to ask you this. Do you have an artist or a type of art that's your inspiration that you like to share?
I like to work with the acrylics because it's just creamy, like it's just a thick. As far as an artist, Van Gogh, believe it or not, was one of my favorite artists, because he uses the abstract. And it was just, I feel like when I see his paintings, it's straight from his mind, He is one of my favorites, yes.
Oh man, you think about Picasso and Da Vinci. I mean, these are the greatest. Yet there are a lot of Black artists.
Yes.
That, especially when you start looking at the art that was created in the areas of West Africa, in the Benin, South Africa, just different kinds of art. We don't even know the names. Like when you talked about synonymous art, but it captures the beauty of that life experience in that time and space, and it tells a story. And I love what you're doing, because you're like, I'm gonna capture the beauty. If somebody asked me what was 2020, the years of 2020, what was the years of COVID like? And somebody capture that in art, because you capture it on so many different themes and dimensions. So it's just not flat, thought, right? There's grooves and there's 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, and there's all these different merging. You as an artist, you appreciate it. That's why people go to an art museum, right? So how can you just sit there and look at a picture? You see it, right? What's the deal? But because there's a story in there, I think, do you try to go in there and just kind of like, can I actually read the story that is there, like almost like looking at hieroglyphics, and then you get it. It's an inspiration.
Yes. And art is healing for any one of us, no matter what it is. If we walk outside, we have what? We have the sky, we have the trees, the earth. That's art, And then my daughter and I actually went to the Hirshhorn Museum over the weekend, and we were able to see some really nice pieces. I mean, and you do, like, if you notice, when you go into a gallery, it's always quiet because that's where you find your peace, for the most part, because you can connect to something in that museum.
Now, where are you located locally?
I am actually, and I like to keep this real, Grant, I was born in Washington, D.C. I love Washington, D.C. I currently live in a little small town outside of D.C. called California, Maryland.
California, I never heard of that. California,
Yes.
Maryland.
It's on it's close to Solomon's Island. It's about 35 minutes from Waldorf, Maryland, if you're familiar with that area. Yes.
Interesting. One thing I'm in Miami, Florida right now, but I'm from the Midwest. But I remember going to Washington, D.C. And the first time I went there, it was the first time I realized, like, this is where my tax money goes, because everything was free. I could go to Smithsonian for free. I could go to the zoo and it was free. And so I was like, wow, everything that I wanted to go to as a tourist, right, didn't cost me any money. It's like, this is really, really, really nice. But they have some great museums. And I think people go to places like this because then you can get the appreciation of, again, the time, the space, the experience, what was happening, the gravity of the moment. And you as an artist, just like that painting behind you, you're capturing the gravity of the moment of what's happening. And you're talking about people that are going, in a healthcare situation, that they're a challenge for their lives. And it could be at the end of it. Talk about the gravity of the moment, right?
Yes.
Where your whole life, 80, 70, 60, 50, whatever years, is all culminated to this point. Man, whoa. So your art, you say your art is all about the storyline is really the African experience, or maybe the African-American experience of America, or is it more than that?
It's the Africans living in America experience. That's the way I look at it. And it's going to be more multicultural because I believe we are all connected. And I just wanted to add, as far as caregivers are also first responders, nurses, and doctors. So that's the broader picture of who I serve. But yes, most of my art is based on the African American woman and man and children.
Excellent. So, as from a business perspective, as an entrepreneur, what does success look like for you? What would you like success for you to look like 3 years from now?
Success for me 3 years from now, that would be a squeeze into my vision. But what I want to do is to have I envision having a retreat center for caregivers where they can come in and be pampered, as well as receive skills, life skills, essentials, medical care, because a lot of caregivers don't even have insurance. Just a big clearinghouse for caregivers. That is my dream, and that is what I want, and that is what I desire. Now, it's going to take a lot of work for 3 years. I said 10.
Oh, well, maybe we're going to do it in phases, right? Well,
yes.
3, 6, 9, 10. But
yes.
that's the ultimate. You want to get to there. And do you see this retreat filled with your art?
Filled with other artists. Now, in the next 3 years, I would also like to collaborate with more sponsors and supporters. And the supporters are the collaborators, other artists who want to give back as well. Coaches who want to give some time coaching someone with, either personal or professional development, just a variety. That's what I want in the next 3 years, is to have a basket full of fruit to give back to caregivers.
Oh,
and that
man.
fruit are the collaborations and sponsorships.
That's beautiful. That's great fruit. That's very juicy. I can feel it. I can feel it. That's not, now I got this vision around what you're doing now. And then, we're looking in this digital age, and you're seeing NFTs, and the NFT you could utilize. I mean, have you thought about that? Like, you know what? I'm making this unique art. It's my art. It's you could trademark it, copyright it through an NFT, and it goes wherever your art goes. Have you thought about that?
Absolutely. I actually had been taking some metaverse classes, and I like to listen to. I'm strong in my faith and my connection, and I ask God for this, what I'm doing now. And I don't want to take for granted, because sometimes I feel like if I'm all over the place, I'm nowhere. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm solid here, but in expanding, the metaverse would definitely be, NFTs, the AI. I do work with use a lot of the AI capabilities now. However, I do want to expand my art to the NFTs. Yes.
Yeah, I think you have a viable product that you're coming out with, and it's timely. It's all about timing in a lot of these different things. I'm inspired by you. I'm inspired because I think your story is a story that a lot of people can resonate with as they step back and really like, you know what? I've been in corporate America. I've worn a lot of hats. I've expended a lot of my energy and my time into things that really aren't really benefiting me totally. Speaking to my whole self. Yeah, I might, speak to my physical self. I can maintain the household. I can maintain, the basic things of life. But when you start talking about resources such as my emotional self, my mental self, my spiritual self, I need more fulfillment. And I like how you have said, you know what? I'm feeling like I need to get, fulfilled. And art can do that for me, because I need good, positive energy that's coming from other people, not either be directly to me, but it's released in this world and how we're moving forward. And that's how you can be that servant that you're looking to be in such a golden way. So I wanted to ask you about, now we're coming back to like right now. How would you describe your business model right now for other artists that are looking to do what you're doing?
The business model is it's cut and dry. It's what is your desire and what is your why. What I do is, I create. That's the model, is to create, to give back. Do the work and give back.
Well, I get, and I like how you frame that's your personal story. You've got to have the personal story, right? Otherwise, if you don't have a point of view and a good personal story, you're not going to get to that next level of getting to a platform. And then what's your positioning in the marketplace? What is that going to look like? for you, because you got to be able to tell that good business story. And that's going to then resonate with your customer journey, because all these people, once they find out about you, like, wow, how can I experience that? I want more of that, because that, has a life force of its own that I want to partake in. Unfortunately, I can only speak from my own experience. Like now, you're surrounded by so much negativity. It's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too much. And I was talking to another colleague of mine. I was telling him, did you understand, especially in the news today, it's like, do you understand when they report the news, they're reporting maybe 3% of the world's population might have had that kind of experience today. 97% of the people are not experiencing that.
Right.
Who's telling the story in the news for these other 97%? As we stand here right now, like where I'm at, it's news time. Now you can find out about the last murder or the next riot or the next war or some other unfortunate reality that is happening, or you can find out about art from Yolanda and how she's building her business and how she's giving back. Now she's helping caregivers. Now she's, part of the healing process. Is that not news?
Absolutely. Yes, it is. It's good news. And I don't watch TV.
There's a reason why, right?
No. Even when it comes down to the weather.
Yeah.
As far as a business model, what I would do is definitely collaborate. It's all about collaborating and connecting and sharing. It's about sharing the wealth. Art is so healing to me, just sitting here speaking to you. It's like I'm so grateful that I made the decision that I made, not to go back and to be someone's unappreciated, hardworking Black woman.
Yes. Say that again. Wait, no, I need you to say that louder. Say that again.
I made the decision not to go back to corporate America to be someone unappreciated, hardworking Black woman.
Wow. And here you are today. And I thank you. I really do, because that resonates with a lot of people. We poured in a lot into a lot of things because of, you have to do what you have to do for survival.
Yes, we
do. But there's another thing that you have to do to have a successful life. And at the end of the day, when you start looking at it, like, what's this all about? You have to create the purpose, and you got to make your life meaningful. You got to do something that resonates with you, that's going to resonate with others, that's actually a vehicle and a channel to give good energy and allow that good spirit to continue to flow, right? And you're doing that. I mean, the art that you're doing, who have you inspired in your circle around you who has watched you grow in this capacity?
My son, some of my friends, and, I'm also going to be teaching, sharing the wealth through classes where, because if you're home and you have nothing to do, it's like a second to pick up a paintbrush or even crayons, and just, it's stress free. It just brings joy, so my son is definitely, he actually taught me, because creativity comes when we come together, right? Yeah. And some of my friends are like, Yolanda, teach me how to do that, and I will. And then they share their ideas. It's transformational. Like, we can transfer it, because we're all creatives.
And you have been creative for a while, and I'm glad you touched people in your circle of friends and family. So for our audience who would like to touch you and touch your art and get an opportunity to really get fulfillment in their life, tell us again how to contact you via your social media handles.
Certainly. You can reach me on Instagram at I am Benevolent Art. Also on Facebook under Yolanda Christensen. On Twitter, I am Benevolent Art.
Well, you are Benevolent Art. And I thank you again for everything that you have been doing. Genius is common, and I will see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Wasn't she just marvelous? I mean, that was a impactful mission that she is on. So I want to talk about the Black Business Expo. The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App that's on the screen below. That's $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. So we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. Now, we want to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for April 2023. NC100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Risset Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia, Minority Supplier Development Council, Staff Management, Barbara H. Smith, LLC, Margie McLean Foundation, Incorporated, Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Milani Shani Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic App Design, Black Business Expo USA, Genius is Common, and I'll see you on the other side.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
This is Dr. Arnold T. Petsworth. Yes, that's his given name. No, don't look into it. He's the owner of Petsworth Vet World, a veterinary clinic in Hopton, Connecticut. His patients include dog, cat, turtle, cat, turtle, frog, hamster, fish,
Goldie?
dog, and this alpaca. Due to doctor-patient confidentiality, we can't tell you their names. Business at Vet World was steady, and then quarantine hit. Neighbors on every lane, drive, and even a few cul-de-sacs brought new four-legged friends into their homes. Bunnies. Bunnies.
You guys are so cute.
Bunnies.
You are so cute.
Bunnies.
You're so cute.
Bunnies everywhere. A lifelong lover of Laporte, Dr. Petsworth welcomed these new patients with open arms.
Hi, how you doing? How is she? Did you meet Jackie? Jackie, Barbara, Jackie? This is Betsy.
The only problem? There were more appointments than he could manage.
Yes, I'm gonna get to you. Give me a second. We're gonna get you in real soon. Don't worry, all right? And then...
That's when Dr. Petsworth turned to his American Express business card, which offers flexible spending limits that adapt with his business. He decided to hire a new assistant, Julio, who's actually more of a bird guy. But that's just between us. And with the power to make big purchases in his hands, he used his card to furnish a new exam room with extra tail space. Together, Dr. Petsworth, Julio, and American Express Business made sure all the pets of Hompton got the love and care they deserved.
All right, Julio, man, that was great, man.
And everyone was happy, especially these guys. Get the card built for business by American Express.
Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America, and my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I want to reach 1 million plus women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success.
Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 888-308-9090. I am Black Business.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090.
Join Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world.
I am from Washington, D.C., but I was raised in Durham, North Carolina. I came to Durham when I was about 5 or 6, and then I traveled back and forth to D.C. because it's where my people are from. One of the unique things about my family is my mother, she's also an artist. She does quilting, and she does a lot of artistic things. And then my son, he draws with both hands, his right hand and his left hand, like I do. So that's kind of a family trait. And then my other son, he's a videographer, and my daughter, she works, she's a regional vice president for Sunglass Lab. When you start out drawing and sketching, you want to continue to explore, each avenue. I do pastels, I do pen and ink, I do painting, I do acrylics. I haven't done oils yet, but I try to do all facets of art. What I say to a lot of times to people is, you can't put yourself in a box when you're an artist. You have to explore. And over the course of my life, I've tried to explore different mediums. I also do sculpture as well. I choose my subjects by the intensity that they have in their faces, or the intensity that somebody is moving, because I do more than portrait drawings. I also do I do abstract, and then I do figurative drawing also. What happened in this particular show is that I started out trying to come up with something that would be a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. So I was working on a Barack Obama show, and they wanted me to do some paintings of Barack. And so what I did was, because of the deadlines, I kind of did it kind of fast. And then I realized when I was doing it fast, I enjoyed it. And so then I started doing other pieces the same way, and I started to enjoy those pieces also. And so I came up with this particular style, and it's a style of lines and colors. And what's interesting is that when I was in college, I did a show called Lines, Colors, and I talked about the boldness of the blacks, the hotness of the whites, and this is how this has come about, later on in my life. And the colors comes from a lot of the entertainers that I work with, where they wear different colors. They don't wear, your plain reds or your whites. They wear different colors, and so that's also another piece of what's giving me the colors. The subtitle of this show is Faces That Speak Life. That's real critical. Faces that speak life. Each one of these pieces is a life source and a life energy that's being put on display for people that are looking at them. I always say in terms of my art, it's not important that I draw them. It's important what you get out of what I draw. I don't try to just draw it because you like it. People wanted me to do prints. I didn't do prints. People asked me to do different people, but the people that I choose are people that make a difference in the lives of people in the world. So the human landscape idea was, again, as I said, the lines represent your emotions, it represents your ideas, and it represents your journey as a human being. And that's why you get the different pieces and the different looks. And as you notice, I try not to do one look that looks alike another look. And that's what's the most important part of this show.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
Good evening, everyone. Morning, where you're at. Business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations, welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM, where we help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. I'm your business moderator for this evening on the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Our next speaker is Douglas Perry Freeman. Douglas Freeman is the president of the Global Reflections and Inclusive Leadership Inclusion Practice at UniWorld Group Incorporated, a global multicultural communication and advertising firm. UWG, at 51 years old, is the oldest multicultural DEI firm in the United States. Global Reflections is a sophisticated line of client offerings that provide corporations with a deep portfolio of holistic diversity and inclusion best practices customized to the client's specific business needs. Mr. Freeman and UWG have completed diversity and inclusion projects for some of the world's leading organizations, from Disney and Major League Baseball to Morgan Stanley and the European Union Commission in Brussels. I present to you Douglas Freeman.
Hello, Grant. How are you today?
I am feeling so much better because you are here, and we're going to have a candid conversation with Douglas Freeman. Now, normally I would step off the stage, but because you are part of the 5-star team that is participating in this month's triathlon on the Black Business Olympics, I get to have a fireside chat directly with you.
Fantastic. This is absolutely exciting. I wanted to congratulate you, Grant, on what a wonderful event, what a wonderful occasion. And it's so fantastic that we have a global community to share this great work that you're doing. Kudos to you and your fantastic and brilliant team.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're gonna start this off really quick because this is the question that's been coming to me over and over again, probably since the Floyd incident. Because I'm older, right? And I'm not going to date you, but I'm going to date myself. No, I come from this,
myself at some point.
We're going to date ourselves a little bit, but I come from this affirmative action world. Right? We had affirmative action in the 70s. You know, hey, we're done. It's civil rights. We passed laws, and it made it illegal to discriminate against people, whether they're black, they're white, their race, their religion, their ethnicity, their sexual orientation. Didn't matter. You cannot discriminate. Why are we still having a DE&I, diversity, equity, and inclusion discussion? Not even a discussion. We have to have models and practices and things that you do in 2023. Help me understand that.
Yeah, that's a really great question, Grant. As you mentioned, we would hope that with all these years of work from the early days, civil rights legislation, affirmative action, and then moving to the late 80s, the diversity movement, and then inclusion, and now diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, the natural conclusion would be that a lot of great progress should have been made, and that a lot of the hard work should move to perhaps the next generation style of diversity, equity, inclusion. I think we have realized that there are gross realities that conflict against that conclusion. Now, part of the challenge on a global scale is looking at these big demographic shifts. There are massive demographic shifts that in many regards are critical to the advancement of society, but perhaps these shifts have not been as effectively managed on a societal scale to allow society to engender human beings, even on an individual or institutional level. The way we like to describe this, Grant, is 6 strands or 6 major global population shifts that are impacting everything. And those differences and impacts ultimately lead to peer-to-peer interactions that have discrimination at their core. We start with age, and we have such a massive spectrum, 6 going on 7 different groups in our workforces all around the globe. We look at disabilities. We look at gender, sexual orientation, and then we go into the big catch-all bucket of race, ethnicity, and we can't forget this immigration, right?
Yeah.
And so all of these major types of shift are buffeting our shores. It's not just U.S. shores, it's Australian shores, it's Malaysian shores, it's African, it's Nigerian shores, it's the shores of Kuwait, right? All of the countries are being affected in some way, shape, or form by these big, massive population shifts. And this has happened in a way that perhaps hasn't occurred in the past. And these shifts matter, and they matter to identity, they matter to society. So everywhere in the world, people are grappling with how do we manage all of these differences in our society in a way to make our society wholesome, robust, and empowered versus denigrated, discriminated, and undermined.
Whew. Wow, you unpacked a lot there.
We have to come right?
You answered, first of all, you answered my question. This ain't just an American problem.
No.
This is a global shift in humanity. Because I hear about certain things in Europe where they're dealing with immigration, that's coming up from I think it's the Middle East, and things of that nature. And, how do they deal with that? And, it's causing population shifts or policy shifts and things of that nature. And what does this really look like? You start finding other people in other sections that you don't even really think about. And I guess because we are in the U.S., we rather think, oh, this is just, our issue because, the dynamics might be a little different.
Correct.
Fundamentally, it might be similar as far as what we're dealing with. You brought up the immigration, like, wow, immigration, like, but you got the war that's going on in Russia, that's impacting Russia, Ukraine, that's impacting all of that. That entire continent is probably, shifted, changed, right?
Absolutely, that's a great connector piece. If the world were just race and gender, you would not see 2 primary Caucasian societies at war, right? That wouldn't be happening. When you look at, a lot of people have done a lot of analysis about Ukraine and Russia and their deep historic roots. And the way I like to think of it for Americans is that, Ukraine is a big country, 44, 50 million people. And Russia is a big country, 150 million. So these big countries at loggerheads. And to me, the way I look at it, it's almost as if Texas were to secede. Texans have a very unique cultural feel. And if there were a breaking point where Texas were to secede and come out of America, there would be the question of how would they align geopolitically, and of course, anybody worth their grain of salt would leverage that, whether they're Russia or North Korea, Iran, and they would try to align with Texas. And if you can imagine that over time, that would really wear thin on very patriotic Americans. And I would think at some point, 10, 20, 30 years in that breakup, there would likely be a war. Wow. And that's how I look at the Ukrainian situation. Similar roots, but fundamentally different. Very big region, unique. But Texans would fight to the hilt. They would fight to the hilt. Ukrainians are fighting to the hilt against Russia. I think the big difference is as we can see, the Russian military has not perhaps performed at the level that everybody assumed they would. I think a U.S. military, I wouldn't want to project Texas versus U.S., but it would be a different outcome for sure.
Man, these are interesting topics. The thing I get from you is that you're culturally conscious, that you understand culture. So when you're dealing with diversity, equity, inclusion, you've got a process in which, now we're going to talk about from a business aspect, right?
Yes.
That because you've done this for a long time. You've done it in different continents. You've come together with a state-of-the-art process and program that you institute in world-class organizations. Tell us more about that.
Sure. There have been a lot of stops and starts and a lot of valiant efforts and investment approaches to diversity. But ultimately, I think, as you know, Grant, we want to do diversity well, and we want to have sustainability. And so there are lessons learned on fundamentally how do you do diversity well from start to finish. And like anything else, you learn that simplicity starts to answer. And our simplistic approach, but we think very methodologically sound, effective, is what we call our 3 A's. A is an apple. And when you start with any kind of diversity initiative, oftentimes people have passion and they want to do the right thing. But you have to start with the first A, which is it's a combo acknowledgement, but the big piece is assessment. Right? You have to be able, through data-driven assessment, determine where you stand for diversity, equity, inclusion, because all organizations are different. They can be in the same industry, they can be right next door, they can be on the same block, but all diversity, equity, inclusion organizations have different needs and different drivers. So assessment is the first bit. The second piece is actions. And it's not just any actions, it's prioritized. And those actions are prioritized because you've done assessments that tell you, hey, if we have 10 key issues, here are the top 2 for the short term, here are the next 3 for the middle term, and here are the remaining 5 for the long term, because you've put in the work with effectively assessing. And then the third piece is accountability. And accountability is metrics, as people would think about it. It's the outcomes and making sure we hit our goals and objective. But it's deeper than that, particularly in this current environment, which is volatile. And in this volatile environment, we've basically seen bifurcation, a split in the road of how particularly larger organizations are continuing on the diversity journey. Some organizations have chosen not to proceed and have retrogressed. And I think many people have seen this in the news, particularly in Silicon Valley. Twitter had 30 DEI leaders, and they now have 2. Well, that's not what you'd hope to see on a journey. But many of the other organizations in the United States are doubling down, which is great. And what you like to see is not only doubling down, but how do organizations react to DEI initiative when times are tough? For example, restructuring, cutbacks. What is the ramification of diversity, equity, inclusion? We have a couple clients who've restructured, and in one case, their diversity effort has actually grown. Right? That is a great metric. How do people react when times are tough with DEI? And the reason
is that they went through the 3 A's and they have the accountability, and it's grounded in their organization, that this is core to the DNA of the business. And it doesn't stop just because there's restructuring or a temporal situation or a temporary situation in the environment. You have a long-term game plan, usually 5+ years, and you implement it and execute it, and you drive it like any other great business initiative. Pardon me.
These are interesting frameworks that you've put together. I want you to talk about results. You've implemented these things. What has been the results on the other side of the ball?
Sure.
In what you've dealt with? Not only talk about the results, but talk about the challenges to get to those results.
Sure. It starts with we like to build what we call DEI business plans. Right now, what's core to a business plans? And that is actually different just from a diversity strategy. A diversity strategy oftentimes has cultural data and best practices data. But DEI business strategy has something that we have built called diversity ROI data, diversity return on investment. Diversity return on investment is a relatively straightforward model. We all have missed business opportunities in our business environments and other environments. There's something called a subset called missed diversity business opportunities. We call those blind spots. And a DROI approach does 3 things. You identify, quantify, and monetize those blind spots. So that's core to a business plan is finance. So when we build these plans, this is not just cultural data, not just best practices. This is also financial and economic value data. So we can clearly state to any client we work with, this is a diversity business plan. That's the beginning of building long-term sustainability, because business, when it comes to diversity, it's oftentimes in a business environment, diversity is not the same as it would be in an educational and mission-centric environment. It's a hybrid. It's always the right thing to do, but diversity must have business value, and it must be a business initiative as well, because business initiatives survive. So it's a hybrid of the right thing to do in business initiative. So the first thing is this DEI business plan. The next pieces go to, your people and talent are still core to so much of diversity. And we like to see what we call building out an inclusive talent life cycle from sourcing to succession planning. If you get to the heart of the early pieces that you described, discrimination, there are barriers and breakdowns from the moment you source, and it doesn't take too much imagination. If you're an organization in Colorado, and all, as much as we now love University of Colorado State even more, but if you're not recruiting at even community colleges that might have more diverse talent, or you're not recruiting at HBCUs, or you're not recruiting through diverse circles, you already have created a breakdown in your inclusion model that you're already typically behind in the overall reflection of the communities you serve, because you just don't outreach to reflective pools of talent. So at the very beginning of the life cycle, you already have breakdowns. So imagine as you continue from sourcing to recruiting to onboarding to performance evaluation to promotions to succession planning, every step of the way, we identify breakdowns. And our job on the talent side is to recognize what those are, put analytics around them, and reverse them, remove the breakdowns, and create really, it's very ironic. And I know there's so much noise around diversity. We're actually creating a fair competitive environment. Scales are tilted in the current life cycle model, intentionally or unintentionally, and this is not a judgment. This is actually an efficiency competition issue. Is your talent life cycle efficient to drive optimal value so that your organization thrives? Yes or no? If you have breakdowns and you're not going into those untapped pools, and then when the untapped pools come in, there are breakdowns around them, you are not an efficient competitor.
Nice. You know, I'm thinking through this. You know, what came to my mind was this, and I saw this on a couple of shows I watched, and you know, it was just fictitious and whatnot. But just watching the show, it said, "Oh yeah, you know, this guy came in. He's a diversity hire." This is kind of a thing that people are saying, which is terrible. You're like, "Oh wow,"
Yes.
you know, it's like the affirmative action program. Well,
Right.
you just, you know, you're just a token person in this organization. They just hired you because, not because you're talented and because you're good or anything. You're the diversity hire. How do you work with those cultural, you know, and that's what human beings will do, right? They'll try to take you out where you're most vulnerable. How do you deal with that?
So, you know, there's two sides of it. There's a talent side and a culture side. So on the talent side, it's making sure that leaders and managers are not using terminologies that this process that we've discussed about making efficient talent life cycles that are competitive or optimally competitive is what we call a competitive diverse pipeline. Because implicitly, what we are actually saying is that your pipeline isn't.
Yeah.
And it isn't. You know, you can empirically show it. It is not optimally competitive. It is competitive, but not optimally competitive. So that's the first piece. When you place the notion of competitive diverse pipeline, when we bring in new source of talent from untapped pools, that talent just competes. And if it naturally competes over time, law of averages, you'll start to get more reflective pools and diverse talent will emerge in its appropriate way because the barriers have been removed. So that's one side of the house. But what a lot of breakdowns occur, as you mentioned, Grant, in the culture, and that's the inclusive leader. What kind of a leader and what kind of leadership cultures are we building? Are we building cultures of inclusion, engagement, high performance? And the data is very clear that inclusion drives engagement. And when you drive engagement, you get 5 major business outcomes. You get improved productivity, you get reduced turnover, you get improved safety, you get improved customer loyalty, and you get improved profitability. So that's all empirically proven. So what that means is you've got to strive to do that. And when you talk about the challenges of a culture, it starts with this overall, you know, a lot of people talk a big picture, people experience. You've got to have a great people experience. Well, the simple nature of the people experience is a very basic building block, and it's called peer-to-peer interaction. Peer-to-peer interaction happens every moment, every time of every day in the workplace. And it's not the same old peer interaction. It's the amplified peer interaction that you just suggest. You just got this, you are a diversity hire. Boom. Sparks are flying just in the terminology. And that's an amplified peer that people, you know, we probably go through millions of interactions. The ones we remember are amplified. Something went awry, and it's usually a leadership breakdown or it's an inclusivity breakdown. So the reason for being of inclusive leaders is not just to be nice or no. Right. Once again, that's a cultural efficiency issue. When you have multiple amplified peer-to-peer interaction, you have a culture that breaks down and crumbles and is not engaging. And when cultures break down and crumble and they're not engaging, you lose money. It's just that simple. So any business leader, doesn't matter what your political percentage, because we hear, oh, is this, you know, these terms that don't even mean anything. I'll address, you know, the term woke. That's the most ridiculous term. That doesn't mean anything. Okay? It's just an empty term that people put out. No, this is business efficiency. Sorry to break the news to you. So if you have cultures that break down in inclusion, the data will show you will lose money and you will not thrive. So why bother doing that? Why don't you flip it and build, you know, we can go into what kind of leadership competencies and models we like to build up. But ultimately, that starts to answer we answer the talent side on the diversity hire. We can't just have, once you remove that notion of diversity hire, you still have to build cultures and leaders so that they don't break down the talent life cycle, and that this great new talent flows through and drives value like any other talent.
Man, wow! You said that. To me, that's like a very you sharpened a very sharp and pointed arrow that can actually move through the inertia that we have. I'm just talking about the United States because I know it the most, to move that forward, because you need to understand, as a culture, especially when you have a world view, as a culture, Americans are Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who, you identify yourself African American, this, that, and the other. Once you leave these shores, you realize real quick you're just an American. And we've got to get over that. We need to understand one thing I learned, and I learned this late in life. I didn't even know this. When I graduated high school in 1981. At the time, America was 80% Caucasian. And made of others, same percentage of Black people, 13 to 15%. That really hasn't moved. When my son graduated high school in 2004 or so, America was 60% Caucasian. That's a huge shift. Now, it wasn't like 20% more African Americans all of a sudden showed up. No, there was a lot of other. You talked about immigration. This has occurred because this continent and where we're located is located in an area that promotes more Latin growth than anything else. If you want to call it Latin, Spanish, whatever, it's just the natural people that lived here for thousands of years. But this is what's happening. The point I'm making is that in order to be successful as a nation, we have to be inclusive there of the entire family.
That's exactly right.
Right? You can't just feed, 2 of your kids, don't feed the other 2 or 3. They're your children, the citizens of this country. How are you now going to alienate them and your competitive nature? Like, I'm not going to nurture that. Well, you remember you're competing in a world market.
That's right.
So you're really just you're depleting yourself. And I use this one more analogy that I love this now, and I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I remember when Colin Kaepernick, was big in the news and whatnot, when things were going through, and then Nike said we're going to pull, the Kaepernick line, and we're not going to do anything, with them. And they had a realization that, our stakeholders maybe are 50-year-old white men. But however, the people that buy our shoes are 20 to 30-year-old Black and brown people.
That's exactly right.
So what are you doing?
Absolutely. It's a great point. We have a complex universe, right? It's the differences are creating more complexity, but that just requires us to be more focused in how we manage the differences. And the realities and the data shows that when we manage differences effectively, particularly in the business environment, while it may be, the diverse teams may be harder to manage in the early phase, the innovation and value that is driven is greater than those that aren't. And Scott Page and and others have shown empirically, particularly for difficult business situation and challenges, why that is the case in the empirical models. So that is clear. And if we're looking at competitive advantage, the harsh reality is, whether we called it Irish people or Indian or Latin American, we've always had different types of people from different backgrounds who have brought something incredible to the table in the United States that has driven so much great innovation and so much great growth. And we still are, regardless of how hard China tries, and regardless of the pandemic, we're a $30 trillion economy. We are the big kahuna. And you could argue that we're a very flabby and unfit economy. There are strong arguments to suggest that if we could more effectively skill up our scale population with better education, more effectively allocate our resource investment, and more effectively we really globally outward. We have to understand that 10 to 15% of the U.S. population has a passport. Well, that's not good enough. And I'm not asking everybody to learn French or another language because that'll take a while, but you can get a passport. Anybody can get a passport. It's not the same being on the internet looking at countries around the world. You have to go into different cultures, and you really have to learn what it's like to function as a society somewhere else that is fundamentally different. Because once you have that, what I call a global eye, it informs how you work in the US. You start to think, you compare and contrast. And usually that knowledge helps you be more effective. Business is on continuous improvement. What better way to continuously improve if all of our citizens could compare and contrast the differences of what works well in, let's say, in Germany or China? If we all knew that and then compare it to today, we'd probably do a lot of things better.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting subject. I want to switch the conversation a little bit and pivot back to UWG. You are owned by African American women. Is that? Give us a little history around that.
Yes, it's a great organization, and thank you for asking, Grant. UWG, and I get my years. One day it's 51, it's 50. I think it's 53, 54. I'll get the numbers right afterwards, so everybody doesn't rain down on social media that the guy doesn't even know the age. It's 50 something. Okay, it's been a while. We were founded by amazing founder who saw in the late 60s this vision of engaging growing segments. You mentioned Colin Kaepernick. The growing segments existed many, many years ago, and that's the real genesis of multicultural marketing. But in 2012, Mr. Byron Lewis, sold the majority portion of the firm to our current chair and owner and her family, Monique Nelson. And then, so it's a diverse supplier, but we have an interesting structure where 49% is owned by one of the world's largest advertising holding companies, WPP. So it gives us a very unique hybrid approach. We have access to all these big global networks. We have, in the range of about 300 Monique's, probably triple the size of the organization since 2012. And one of the ways she felt there was value, untapped value, was having a DEI practice. And so in 2018, we officially built the Global Reflections and Inclusive Leadership practice. At the time, I'd been running, I founded many years ago the World Diversity Leadership Summit in Prague in 2004, built a consulting firm, Vercom Consulting, and had been doing work. And then in 2017, I took on a role as Chief Diversity Officer for $1 billion health plan at LA, which went well, but I really wanted to have a different kind of consulting approach. And I just felt bringing our boutique firm inside a great organization like Monique to build this very synergistic practice was the right thing to do. And of course, George Floyd hit and we exploded in growth. We have well over 30 consultants all around the world, the bulk in North America, but from the UK to Asia Pac. So we have a nice global footprint as well. And, we've been able to build solutions that have real impact. I mean, we have clients that have been around year after year after years that get better in DEI. They thrive and they learn more and they innovate more. And they build organizations that ultimately are more effective when DEI is core to the DNA of the organization and is truly business integrated.
You said a very important thing. When you start to talk about D&I as a strategy, not as just a human resource or a reaction to like, okay, yeah, we need to include our Black people, in our employment and part of our organization, not realizing, you need to understand, if you deplete an entire group of people from the economic resources, and not only just deplete them for a couple of years, but for hundreds of years.
Correct.
And then you don't want to take responsibility for the conditions that were created by policy, and want to blame the people now for the condition. This is something we need to address. And it's like, we need to take ownership. Let's say we, I mean, the greater society, the American society, take ownership of how this got to be where it is and why. Take ownership. I don't want to talk about reparations, this, that, and like, no, we have to invest in the greatest resource we have is our people.
Correct.
We don't invest in our people. What are we investing in? We've asked, and I'll speak directly to my African-American people. We've been asked to fight in every single war for our freedom, and yet that same freedom that we fought for has not been afforded to us. The same realities. I still get upset when I hear about these things after World War II. Like, everybody got the GI Bill. This is when America really took off. And you got the GI Bill, and it afforded a lot of people that came back as veterans to get them like, hey, this is your 40 acres and a mule. We're going to give you this GI Bill, and you're going to have an opportunity to grow your family and build community and move forward. Oh, by the way, you African-American person, Black person, that's not going to be given to you. Wow, what a slap in the face. And then the audacity to tell me that I got to go through civil rights now just to get basic rights. We're not talking about a leg up. We're just like, I just want to compete on a level playing field. That's what I'm asking for, because I ain't going nowhere. This is my home. I'm bone of your bone, as Baldwin said. We are Americans. We are Americans. Yet we've been treated for hundreds of years like we're something else. I don't know why, but it's such an attitude that I feel is the culprit in the room, the elephant in the room that has to be removed. We can't continue to look at people as if they're less than, because you found it was a leverage, and everybody knows, we call it as it is, certain people got advantage over that. There's an advantage because you took a player off the field, put him on the bench as you grew your society, and this player couldn't even play in the game to even compete. But now we compete, sports, entertainment, a lot of the fields are like, wow, we're done because we do have skill sets, but we don't want to continue this conversation as if we're less than, because we're in a global economy in which people are the assets. We've got to invest in ourselves. Anything you'd like to state with that?
Absolutely. We have a very interesting opposing situation of history. You track 400 years of, I don't call it slavery, it's terrorism that happened. When you're talking about the dehumanization, beatings, sexual assaults, and the lack of ability to fight, look at Ukraine. That's a tough situation, but they have billions of dollars of weaponry. We didn't have billions of dollars of weaponry. If we could have fought, likely there'd be a different kind of policy model. Let's just put it that. But we didn't have that. So there are a lot of things that went awry. And there were a lot of policies that institutionally were designed, particularly as we gained freedoms, to remove them. That was dominant culture strategy, and not, ironically, as many of us reflect on it, not particularly brilliant strategy. To be honest, pretty basic stuff. I'm sure if we all got together and thought through it a little better, because you might have wanted to, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that complex. It just blunt instrument stuff. Okay, so now you evolving in the 60s, and now we're getting civil rights. One of the things that we can't forget is, as bad as it was, there was still a backdoor track to integration, or I wouldn't even say pure integration, to participation in society. And that backdoor track was education. And even when there was the separation of education, by fluke or chance, at the end of the day, and I just have to give you a heads up, Grant, I may have to shift my computer to get my plug in. I've been trying to have this perfect view, but it's going to die in about 2 minutes if I don't shift. So
We've only got a couple of minutes left.
But ultimately, Grant, HBCUs, let's think about that. If you look at marginalized cultures around the world, nobody had 100 institutions to build them up.
Yeah.
So when the 1970s hit and the explosion of opportunities for particularly Black and brown professionals occurred, that HBCU bedrock talent walked into many political positions and legal positions and I know that's an untold story. And I'm not patting America on the back because they did it for all the wrong reasons, but it is a fact that this big HBCU backbone, for whatever reason, created giants of talent that enabled Blacks to participate relatively quickly in society, which doesn't exist in South Africa, which doesn't exist in other parts of the world. So this is, I think there's just this huge untold story of when I look at Blacks in the 70s, there were so many great Black professionals out of nowhere. It's because of the HBCUs.
Nice.
That's why. So we have this mixed, yes, it's all slanted, got it. But we got this backbone and we've leveraged it. And to this day, some of the greatest talent comes out of the HBCU platform. What it tells us as a people, to me, is scale, scale, scale. How do we leverage the HBCUs and other learning to get the best in class education first to everyone? And that, whether you believe in charter schools or other models, you got to have a model for K to 12 that's as powerful as HBCU and scaled, that allows us to at least walk on the playing field. Then
Right.
Step 2 is the models that I am doing and others, and so many others, great work that they're doing. This will be converted to society next. We will have to work society writ large to remove the breakdowns that have been institutionally built in urban policy planning and every government institution and school institution. We're going to have to apply the same methodological tools that we primarily use for the business world to goods and growing success over the next decade or two or more. Those tools will have to be applied at the federal government, state government level, municipal level, because they have the same, society has the same problem. There were barriers and breakdowns designed to undermine people of color. Those have to be removed. So if you theoretically say, look, if we could scale up the education to excellence and we break down the societal barriers, theoretically, there is a platform over the next decade or two for Black society in particular to not only catch up, but catapult. I see a quantum model occurring where if we match those two levers, all the breakdown and hindrances could really be catapulted over the next few decades to have a very powerful, robust, and where we should be, an optimized Black people society, which I think we could have and we would do extraordinarily well. We've got to put these levers in place to enable them.
Hey, from your mouth to God's ears. So just real quick, before we leave you, Douglas, if people need to get in touch with you, what is the best possible way?
Yeah, I'll just, and you can place my email up, doug.freeman It's my first name, Doug.Freeman, Freeman, at UWGNY. U is in under, W is in world, G is in Grant, New York, NY.com. Doug.Freeman at UWGNY.com.
Awesome.
Mr. Graham McGaw, Mr. Douglas Freeman, we just want to thank you guys for coming and sharing your expertise on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity, Grant. Once again, kudos to your fabulous work. Kudos to what a wonderful team. Together, this will be great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side, gentlemen.
Thanks all.
All right.
It's been a pleasure and an honor.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So the Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K-12 or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or use the Cash App that's on the screen below. That's $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts, so we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We want to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for April 2023, NC100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Ritchie's Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, Barbara H. Smith, LLC, Margie McLean Foundation, Inc., Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Milani Shani Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Super Women Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic App Design, and Black Business Expo USA. Once again, Genius is Common, and I'll see you on the other side.
How you doing? I'm Rodney Allen Rippey. Yeah, the child actor. Well, now, leading man. Some of you might remember back in the day, the Harlem Globetrotters popcorn machine. Remember that? Well, it was a Saturday morning special that would come on, and I was there with Geese and Tex and Meadowlark Lemon. Remember the show? Well, I had a great time. And I have to say a huge, huge thank you to all my fans out there. Thank you for all the years of support. I went on from the entertainment industry. I started getting into producing and directing. And now, hey, here I am. I'm a studio executive here in Burbank, California at 2526 Studios. I have to say, it's been pretty good, but the best is yet to come. Please stay encouraged. Keep reaching for your dreams and never forget that genius is common. Remember that. Genius is common. No matter what anyone says to you, no matter how tough the road may get, keep striving. Keep reaching for your dreams. And always know that you are worth it. Everything that you put into yourself, everything good that you pour into your life, you are worth it. And when the times get tough, when things don't go exactly right, it's okay. Dust your shoulders off. Stand up strong. And remember, genius is common.
I am a child of the Most High God. He has gifted me in ways that I could not even imagine and didn't know.
There was a time when I didn't know who I was. I listened to other people tell me who I should be, what I should do. I listened to people telling me that I should be a boutique owner, that I should be a construction manager, that I should be a laborer? Have you ever felt like you should do something else, be something else, go somewhere else, be wherever you wanted to be, and you felt like you were in a box? Anybody in the room? And you couldn't get out? Anybody in the room? And you kept trying to go and you couldn't get out? Anybody in the room? But let me tell you, you need to rock the box. Rock the box.
I am engaging, inspiring, and empowering. I would give you everything I know. Just by touching you, if I could, by osmosis, give you every single thing I've learned, I've gone through, I know I would. We know that's not possible, but as it is possible, I love to share information with people.
Some of you out there, people have told you that you can't be, you can't have, you can't do. But I will tell you, like Kingston said, you can, you must, and you will. If it's to be, it's going to be me. You got to say it. If it's to be, it's going to be. If it's to be, it's going to be. If it's to be, it's going to be.
Barbara is because she believed what her mama said about her and not what other people told her.
Every day you wake up, when you're in a situation, it's your choice whether it's an advantage or the disadvantage.
She gained her confidence and her life, and now she is a testimony.
If I can help you elevate yourself, then I feel like I'm elevating my own self as well. What you know and I know together can change the world.
Hi, my name is Annette Bentley Smith, and my geniuses are writing, becoming an inventor, and solopreneur. I self-published 14 children's books, as well as invented a plush toy and bed sheets that centers around reading and being read to. The trademarked and patent-pending plush toy will play 5 of my stories, soothing music, and you can record your own stories, songs, and messages using your own voice via the USB port. Kobe the Storytime plush tail koala bear also holds a book to put a picture of a child's loved one in it. The bed sheets have an entire bullying book printed on it. It has positive quotes, a word search game, a typing keyboard, and an open book with general questions. It has 2 pillowcases, a top sheet, and a fitted sheet, and it comes in a twin size. Becoming an author and inventing my products is an opportunity for me to give parents everywhere an interactive reading experience that's fun and unique. I believe reading together is important. My company, Incorp Literary Works, is taking storytime and bedtime reading to a whole new level for our new generation of children. Genius is common.
Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America, and my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I I want to reach 1 million plus women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success.
Hey guys, my name is Caden. I'm the CEO of Caden Teaches, and my genius is teaching kids about financial literacy. Throughout my financial products, such as my financial flashcards, my activity book, and my newest project, my financial bus, which I bought. And on the bus, it has a mock bank where kids will learn how to deposit and withdraw money, a mock grocery store where kids will be able to learn how to have a family budget, and a mock stock exchange where kids will even be able to learn how to invest in stocks. Now, I decided to start teaching kids about financial literacy because I find that most kids graduate high school without even knowing the basics about financial literacy. And I feel if I were to teach kids about financial literacy, that I would be able to help kids tap into their genius. And I actually learned about financial literacy to my dad because I would go to business meetings with him, and I would always see that they were talking about financial literacy. And at that point, I didn't understand what financial literacy was. So I took it upon myself to learn about financial literacy and teach it to kids in a way that they could understand. But I want you guys to help me help kids tap into their genius by going to my website, cadenteaches.com, and you can sew into me in my financial.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support, where health education is abundant, where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
Did you know a typical passenger vehicle that has a fuel economy of about 22 miles per gallon and drives about 11,500 miles per year emits about 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide on an annual basis? In order to save this planet we call home, we have to make an immediate change in the way we navigate everyday life. Derrick Automotive is that change. Our ambition is to build full-size, near-zero emission electric drive vehicles that don't rely on the electric grid. Derrick Automotive makes driving an electric vehicle extremely convenient without sacrificing a sleek, modern design that is sure to capture the attention wherever you go. Make the choice to take part in a movement to help preserve our planet today. Choose Derrick Automotive. Visit us on the web today to learn more.
Are you a forward-thinking entrepreneur or business owner? The world is changing faster than ever, and it's time to pivot and adapt to the future. Hello LLC is here to help you do just that. Hello stands for helping enterprises leverage leading-edge optimizations. Our innovative solutions can streamline operations, reduce overhead costs, and give you a competitive edge in a market projected to reach $5 trillion by 2030. By pivoting to the metaverse, businesses can tap into a rapidly growing market that is projected to be a significant part of daily life for 25% of Americans by 2026. As a full digital metaverse agency, the Hello LLC can help you create custom solutions to streamline operations, increase productivity, reduce costs, and drive brand recognition. Why should you pivot to the metaverse with the Hello LLC? By leveraging cutting-edge technology, you can provide immersive experiences for your customers, expand your global reach, and unlock new revenue streams. Contact us today to make the pivot.
Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090.
Join Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world.
Good evening, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Rory Alexander, and I'm your business moderator for this evening on the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Our next speaker is Jerron Walters. Mr. Jerron Walters of Elite Commerce Specialties in helping coaches, consultants, and course creators fill their high-end programs using virtual events. If you're stuck at 50K months or less, we help developing the systems, strategies, and structures to break 100K months. I present to you Jerron J.L. the Genius Walters.
Hey, what's going on, Roy? Thank you so much, man. That's a beautiful introduction.
Yes.
Amazing. Appreciate you, my brother.
No problem. Great to have you, man. Genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
I will see you on the other side. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Genius is common, but it is not commonly used. That's why Dr. Kelly does this, because he wants everyone to know that there's genius in us. There's something in us that we need to get out into the world. And that's why, before I begin, I just want to thank Dr. Kelly and Dr. Eric Kelly III and the whole Black Business Network, Black Business Olympics, everyone who is speaking, because people need to hear this information. This needs to get out. We can't be the best kept secret. How many of you at home feel like you are great at what you do, like you the best, you phenomenal, but you feel like nobody knows about you? You just the best kept secret. Anybody at home feel like that? All right, well, it's time to get up under that rock, right? It's time to stop being Patrick Starr. How are you going to impact the world and change lives if no one knows about you? See, a lot of times, especially us being Black entrepreneurs, we come in, we say, hey, man, I don't want to keep blowing people up. I'm going to seem like I'm stalking them. I'm going to seem like I'm a pest. I'm annoying. But think about the State Farm commercial. You guys familiar with State Farm? And think about State Farm commercials, and then who is the main character? It's Jake, right? Nobody knows Jake. The only way you know Jake is from State Farm. And so how many times have you been watching maybe TV, watching a game or watching your favorite show, and you see this State Farm commercial keep popping up time and time and time again, and it's been an hour long, and this commercial has already played 7 or 8 times. This is how we have to be as Black business owners. We have to be relentless. We have to be resilient, because we have a lot of obstacles in our way that we're facing each and every day. And it's not as easy as if we were another race where we just start a business and it automatically blows up. It's not a walk in the park for us, right? This is a journey. This is a battle. Every day we have to learn how to grow and accelerate and beat the learning curve. When I first got started in the online space, I started off as an inventor, right? So I was 19 when I created my first invention, and when I created my invention, I fell into the trap, right? They told me go to school, get a good job, and get an education. But as I was in school, I quickly realized, like, I went to school for football, and growing up where I'm from, the only way we knew how to get out of our environment was sports, was music, or was selling drugs. That was the only way we knew how to make money. And so I wanted to defy the odds. Once I got into college, I quickly realized, I'm like, I don't want to go to the league anymore. I don't want to put my body at risk. I want to use the strongest muscle I have, which is my mind. See, most people, they don't think. They just think they think. And so I had to use my mind to think myself up out of certain situations. So growing up, like I always told my grandmother, I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. And when I created my invention, everybody, was happy. And she was like, my grandmother was rooting for me, right? She was about to get some type of settlement. And she's like, baby, when I get this money, I'm gonna give you some, right? So she knew what I had going. She believed in the vision. But before I could even get things off the ground, my grandmother passed away. And it was very hard for me to soak that in, because that was like, she was the matriarch, right? She was the one who can stop arguments between family members. She was the one that you call whenever, you know, you have a problem, whenever you have questions, whenever you need a recipe. She was that lady. And so when she passed away and transferred, you know, to heaven, my whole family, it seemed like they just started crumbling and breaking apart. And I'm me being the oldest grandchild. I'm like the golden child. I'm the one who's supposed to make it happen. And so I told my grandmother, I made her a promise. I said, I will make it happen, no matter what it takes, no matter how long I have to go at it, no matter, you know, what losses I have to incur. I will make this happen. And so I've been on this journey ever since my invention. And I started out, I kind of had the shiny object syndrome, right? They say when you're an entrepreneur, your distractions are often, they're not really distractions. Well, they are distractions, but they're not typical distractions. Our distractions are new opportunities. You could be doing something in your business and you're getting a little traction, or you seeing some traction, but then somebody gives you a new opportunity. Hey, I got this right here. I think you'd be great at it. And so what you do, you go leave what you're doing and go jump on that. And I had that syndrome. Am I the only one? Anybody had the shiny object syndrome where you see one thing and you go to the next and you go to the next? Well, that was me, right? I started off in real estate and I had this invention. So I was like, let me get enough money in this real estate game. I'll pay my invention. And so I was working, like, when I started in real estate, I was working probably 40 hours at one job, 24 hours at another job, and I was a full-time student. And I was still trying to learn real estate and get into other things. But on this journey, I ran into this man and he said, you have a nice invention, but it doesn't matter how good your invention is. If you don't know how to market, you are going to lose to an inferior product. And when he said that to me, that's when the light bulb went off. Like I had my aha moment, right? And that's when he said, what does every business need? I'm like, sales, right? Because every business needs sales to stay in business, right? He said, you need sales, but what do you need before sales? He said, you need marketing. How are you going to make a sale if you don't market, if you don't advertise, if you don't promote? And what that means is just making people aware of what you do. So we got to start making people aware of our greatness, making people aware of our intelligence, making people aware of how we can help them get out of their situation. And so what I'm going to talk about today, guys, is a concept that you may or may not heard about. I'm going to describe, it's called funnels, right? A funnel concept. But before I get into that, I want to get into what really helped me transition into where I am now. So I like Rory said, I've helped, you know, clients have $100,000 days, right? Instead of 100, we're not talking six figures in a year. We're talking six figures in not even a month, but in a day. And so I learned quickly that it's easier to make a lot of money in a short amount of time than a little money in a long period of time. So let me ask you guys a question. If you make $1 million, are you rich? Some of you might say yes. Some of you might say no. Well, it really depends. It depends how fast you made that million. See, I can make $25,000 a year and work for 40 years, and that's $1 million. But if I make that same million in 1 year, now that person who made the million in 1 year is 40 times richer than the person who took 40 years to do it. See, time is something you can't get back. So when you talk about wealth, when you talk about building this generational wealth, it's not about the money. It's about the time. Wealth is measured in time. How much of your time can you get back? How much of your time can you use and utilize for something better than what you're already doing? Right? So wealth is measured in time. It's not measured in the amount of money that you have. Right? So if I can make $1 million within a year, now it's time to make $1 million in a month. Now it's time to make $1 million in a week. and we want to shorten that time frame. And to scale really means to do more with less. That's what it means to scale. And so when I first realized this, and I started learning this high level skill, when the guy told me about marketing, I need to learn about marketing, I started studying. I started reading these books, from guys like Russell Brunson, Dan Kennedy, Joel Bauer, all of these different mentors I started studying from. And what I learned is that I started developing this skill set. See, it's one thing to read about something, but like a mentor told me, if you're not living that book, then you haven't read the book. So I was one of those people who I was heavy on the information overload, but I wasn't executing. I wasn't doing the necessary things that I needed to do to have that what is in that book come to fruition. Right? And so you may be that same person who you get a lot of information, you know a lot of stuff, but you don't do a lot of stuff. You only do a small amount. And so now you're limiting your greatness. Now you're limiting the people you can touch, the impact that you can have, the freedom that you can have, because you're not maximizing what you think you know. You only know what you execute. And so as I was reading this information, I stopped, really reading and diving into that, and I started doing stuff. And I started building out these funnels, and I learned like, hey, this is a valuable skill. People are paying a lot of money for this stuff. And the guy who I learned it from, he was a college student, right? He started off with shooting potato guns, building potato guns. And he realized, he's like, hey, if I can learn and teach people how to do this, people will pay me. So he set up with what they call a funnel. I'll get into that a little bit. And that funnel helped him really start and launch his business. And this guy, he went from 0 to 100 million in 3 years using this process that I'm about to share with you guys. And so as I was building this stuff out, I remember when I got my first, we call it high ticket. High ticket is anything over $3,000, anything over 1,000 and up, right? 3,000 and up. So I was working a factory job. And at this job, I was in there with a whole bunch of people with negative energy. Every time you walk in there, hey man, what's going on? Same stuff, different day. I'm like, same stuff. Like, why is it always same stuff, different day? And then I was talking to a guy. He was like, man, how long you been working here? Oh, I've been here for 40 years. I've been here 40 years. I'm about to retire next week. I said, oh, okay, I'm about to retire when you retire. He started laughing. He just like, he started laughing, right? He's like, nah, you got another about 40, 50 years, son, before you get here. And that was the mentality. That was the mentality of those people in that environment. And I used to say to them, you have to be there before you get there. And they used to just bust out laughing at me. Like, man, there's something wrong with you. Like what is wrong? Like, you need to go see a doctor. That's what they said to me, right? They're like, man, there's something wrong with you. What do you mean? And you can't be there before you get there. But they didn't understand what I understood. I understood that you have to be there mentally before you can get there physically. And so everything starts with your mind, with your thoughts. And that's why it's important for us to think. And that's why it's important for us to create and collaborate with other minds and create synergy. Because when you collaborate with other people and you have an idea, they have an idea, and when you put those ideas together, you just created a third idea that none of you would have thought about had you not connected. And so I tell people all the time, I would much rather have 50% of a watermelon than 100% of a grape. Right? And so as I was doing these funnels, I remember I was working a job like 40 hours a week. So I was bringing home like $1,250 after taxes. So at $1,250 after taxes, 21, 22 years old, that's all right, right? That's just more people think, oh, you're doing good. No kids, you're doing good. But that wasn't enough for me. Like I wanted more in my life. And so when I got this client in, this lady, she needed a funnel bad. Like she was blowing me up. She texted me and I didn't respond. I'm like, okay, whatever. She texted me again the next day. And so this lady was blowing me up, hunting me down to get this funnel made because she heard about me through the grapevine from some of the free work that I did. And so the most important part when it comes to any business, anything, think about fishing, right? What's the most important part of the fishing equation? Put it in the chat. If you're listening at home, put it in the chat if you know about fishing. What's the most important part of the fishing equation? It's not the bait. It's not the tools, the equipment. It's the hungry fish. So you could put the bait out there, but if the fish are not hungry, they're not going to bite. So us as entrepreneurs, we have to understand, in order for us to be valuable, in order for us to get to another level, we have to only target the hungry fish. Only target the people who are ready to change their lives. Not the people who are tire kickers, not the people who are still wondering if this is for them. Not the people asking you, well, why should I work with you? So if people ask me, why should I work with you? What did I tell them? I say, you shouldn't. You should probably go up the street somewhere because Johnny or on Fiverr, he does funnels too. Go get your funnel done for $250. And when they go, they come back, they always come back. And when they come back, their price is not the same as it was. So we have to understand our value. We have to understand that we don't need every client. We only need the hungry fish. We only need a few clients. There was a time where this guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, he was at a conference speaking. And he was saying at this conference, he was like, all right, I'm going to auction off 2 hours of my time. Oh, he said, I'm going to auction off 1 hour of my time. We're going to start the bid at $200. So people start raising their hand, 200, 500, 750, 800, 1,000. And it got all the way up to about, like once it got to like 1,000, a lot of people stopped raising their hand, about 60% of the room. Once he got to like 2,500, then more people sat down, stopped raising their hand. So now you only like 10% of the room. And then once he got to like 3,000, 4,000, it was only 2 bidders left. It was 2 people. So one guy said 3,500. The next guy said 36. Other guy said 37. And they got all the way to 4,000. Gary was like, he saw the crowd getting restless. People were tired of this back and forth. So he was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. Will both of you guys pay 4,000 pounds for an hour of my time each? And the guys agreed, and the deal was set. So what happened? He didn't serve everybody in that crowd. It only takes 2. It takes 2 people to raise up your price. It takes 2 people to really get paid what you're worth. And so now, once we understand that, we can understand that we need to look for the hungry fish, and we need to be oversubscribed. We're not looking for every customer. And so once I found that highest paying client with the funnels, I told you guys, I was making $1,250 a week. That's about $5,000 in a month. And that's 160 hours of work. I made $5,000 in 160 hours. Remember what I told you. Wealth is measured in time, not money. So when I made that what, 5,000 in 160 hours, this same lady, she paid me $5,000 to build her a funnel that took me 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to do this because I learned a high level skill versus the 160 hours at the job to make the same amount of money. Is this making sense? And so when it comes to funnels, there's really 4 components of a funnel. This is a high level skill. You guys need to write this down. And you've already been in a funnel before. Think about the last time you went to the airport when you're getting your boarding pass, your ticket. You go through the process, you put your information in, then it gets to a point where you choose your seat and they upsell you on a seat. If you get the seat that's a better seat, or you keep what you got. If you keep what you got, you go to the next page and they say, hey, you want to upgrade to this, you want to upgrade to that. Or think about going to McDonald's. When you go to McDonald's, they say, "Hey, man, welcome to McDonald's. What would you like?" "Oh, let me get a Big Mac." "Awesome. Do you want fries and a drink to do with that? You want to make that a meal?" And you at that point, you like, "Man, should I make this a meal? I am kind of hungry." But you're in that buying state. So you like, "Okay, yeah, go ahead and make it a meal." "Oh, great. We got you a meal. Would you like anything else? We have our frappes or our McFlurries." So like, "Yeah, let me get that too." And so you came there just for a burger. You end up leaving with a whole meal and a shake. And so that's what the power of a funnel does. The funnel is basically allows you to move customers through a journey, through a process, and maximize the profit that you can make while the customer is going through that journey. So you may know what a website is already. And many of you may have a website. And when they come to your website, you have all these different links and different tabs and different places they can go to and sliding pictures and all these different videos. And then you end up not making many sales or wondering why your sales are slow or wondering why, my site looks phenomenal. I got stuff falling from the top. I got everything. Why is nobody buying? What nobody's buying is because it's too much going on. See, you think that more is better when really less is more. It's the KISS method. Keep it super simple. And simplicity wins every time over complexity. So you don't need all the fancy, all these different buttons and tabs, because the number one rule in direct response marketing is that a confused mind always says no. So if you have a product or a service or a website and you have all these different tabs and different links, that you're going to confuse a person. You're not going to push them to buy from you. You got too many links. You got a consultation over here, and over here you selling t-shirts, and over here you selling scarves, and over here you selling water. Like, you got too much going on, and wonder why that you're not making the sales or attracting the high-paying clients that you want to attract. And so with a funnel, think about taking that website with all these different tabs and different links on one site and breaking it up. With the funnel, you can only do one step at a time, one thing at a time. First page, your name and email, phone number. Next page, hey, you want to buy this? Only one product. They say yes, they say no. They say yes, then you upsell them again, like the fries and the drink. Hey, you're getting this product. Do you want the complimentary product? Or do you want the next thing? If they say no, now we do what we call, from the upsell, we do what we call a downsell. And we go to, okay, you said no at this price, but what if I gave it to you? You said no at 147. What if I gave it to you for 97? Would you want it then? And so now you've just maximized the opportunity to make a sale with that one customer by taking them on their journey. And you could split it up. And now you can track, okay, if 100 people put their name, email, phone number in, and only 20 people bought this product on this page, something is wrong with this page. I need to tweak this page. So now you have control. With a website, if 100 people show up and only 20 people buy, you don't know why the other 80 people didn't buy. You don't know what to do. And a lot of times people don't even have their tracking in place. When I see these websites, these platforms, Facebook and Google, are so powerful, and they really got too much power, which is why they actually got their lawsuit going on. But that's another conversation. But these platforms are so powerful that when you like something on Facebook, you're not just liking something just to like it. They're tracking that data. They're like, okay, you like basketball. Okay, you like event planning. And so they show you more of what you're liking. And you ever went to something, put a 1 in the chat or raise your hand. You ever looked up something on Google or talked about something, and then you went to a social media platform and you saw an ad for what you just were thinking about or talking about? That's because they have their tracking in place. A lot of your websites do not have that in place. But like for a funnel, it breaks it down even better, because now you're tracking step by step, and you can make more profit per prospect with a sales funnel. So the first component of a funnel is knowing who you're targeting. Who is your dream customer? Who is your target audience? When I first got started in the online space, I told you guys I had shiny object syndrome. And this is that time where I literally lost everything, right? I lost my dog ran away. My girl ran away. Car got repossessed. Had to move back in with my mom. I like felt like a failure at this time. And so I'm at home. I'm like trying to figure out how to make some money, and drop shipping came up. And drop shipping is where you are the middleman, basically, from a vendor to the customer. Customer buys from your site, you buy it from the vendor ships it to the customer. You don't have to have any inventory, anything. And so I was selling baby clothes, and it was so hard for me to figure out why I couldn't get a sale. Like the sales were really low. And so this 14-year-old called me. He like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to call you, man." He was like, "Are you you in the online space, right?" He was like, "Look, since I called you, I'm gonna give you my course for half price. I normally charge $2,000. I'm gonna give it to you for $1,000." And at the time, I couldn't afford this 14-year-old's course. And he showed me a screenshot where he made $256,000 in January alone. And it was February. I'm like, ain't no way this 14-year-old is smarter than me. There's no way. There's no 14-year-old is smarter than me. A grown man, a man who thinks he knew a lot, but I don't know enough, right? So that's how I was thinking. And I didn't realize, it wasn't until later when I actually got some mentors and got some guidance, that I didn't know who I was targeting. I said my product was for everybody. Everybody has kids. Whoever has a kid, this is who it's for. And then I wonder why I wasn't getting any sales. So the first thing is, number one, you have to identify who you're targeting. Not only the demographics, age, race, gender, sex, but the psychographics. How do they think? What kind of foods do they eat? Where do they shop? Right? Think about, what are their biggest fears? What are their objections? What's holding them back in life? What and that's number one, right? Knowing who you're targeting. The second component of a funnel is knowing where they are. So I used to play basketball in high school, and every day after school, we got out of school at 3:00. We didn't have practice until like 4:30, and so we had a little break in between, and all of the players were to report to the library where we could study. And so one time, we were all in the library, and I had to get up to use the restroom, and we're supposed to be doing homework, right? So I'm walking to the restroom. I'm looking at every basketball player's screen. We're all on the camera. We're all on a computer. I'm looking at everybody's screen. Everybody on ESPN talking about who's better, Kobe or LeBron. And it was a big debate. So there you have all these basketball players not doing homework, but doing and tuned into what they're really interested in. Which brings me to my second point. The second component of a funnel, once you know who you're targeting, the second thing is, where are these people? Where are they congregating? I know who I'm targeting. I know who I'm speaking to. Now, how can I go find these people? What forums are they in? What blogs are they reading? What newsletters are they subscribed to? YouTube channels are they watching? Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Clubhouse rooms, right? And so I started understanding that, okay, I know who I'm targeting. Now I have to figure out where they are. And that's just online. Where are they at offline? Are they at networking events? Are they at seminars? Are they at the airport? Right? Are they at just anywhere online? I mean offline. Anywhere that you can think of where your dream customer will be. Figure out who they are, and you figure out where they are. And the next thing is figure out what you need to do to attract them, to bring them in. So how are you going to get their attention? How are you going to get them to focus on what you have going on? And this process, going from the where to the how to attract them, this is what we call traffic. All right, this is generating the traffic to your site. And so there's 3 forms of traffic, 3 different types of traffic. There's earned traffic, traffic that you earn by posting on social media every day, by going live, all right, doing things like that. And then there's owned traffic. So there's earned, and then there's owned. So this is traffic that you own, your list. If you're not building a list, you're not building a business. I learned that a long time ago when I got started. I didn't even know anything about a list. Like I said, I was doing real estate, and they started telling me, hey, add these people to a list and start calling and texting these people and put them all in one sheet. And I didn't know that was called a list building at the time. I had to learn that. And I had to learn that you need to follow up with your list. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 7, 10, 15, 20 times. Doesn't matter. Somebody told me today, they said, if you don't have any haters, if nobody's commenting nasty stuff under your post, if nobody's saying nasty stuff to you, in your comment section, they said you're not marketing hard enough. You're not doing enough. So I was like, okay, I got to go harder. I got to go, even though I'm going hard, even though I'm on every platform, even though I'm everywhere, I still have to go harder. So back to the traffic. There's the earned traffic. There's the own traffic, your own list, traffic that you own. And then there's the paid traffic, where you can pay for advertising to get people into your funnel or your website. And then I'm going to give you guys a couple extra ways to generate traffic. We talked about the earned, which is the hustle, making sure like if somebody comments on your post, you add that person as a friend and go to their DM. This is what, if you don't have a lot of money, this is where you start. The next thing is JV, joint ventures. I talked about this already, partnering with people who have your audience. They don't necessarily do what you do, but they have your audience and they're speaking to your people, and they may serve them in another capacity. So for an example of this would be like movie theaters who have food, who serve food while you're eating, right? That's an example, right? Somebody, they're like, hey, we got a movie theater, you have food, why don't you just serve our customers and we can split the difference, right? And then we talked about ads. That's the next thing. And we talked about your list, which is the people who you have on your email list, your text list, social media list. And then we want to talk about referrals. A lot of times we overlook our clients. Okay, Doc said that's time right there. My bad.
No, you're all good. You're all good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Duran, for your expertise and your specialty, sharing that with us. I just want to thank you so much for being on the show today, man. Your words were inspirational for sure.
Thank you, brother.
Yes. Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side. The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or use the Cash App that's on the screen below, $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts, so we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We want to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for April 23, NC 100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Ritchie Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, Barbara H. Smith, LLC, Marjorie McLean Foundation, Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Mullane Shani Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic App Design, Black Business Expo USA, and AWO Phoenix Technology. Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side.
Hello, my name is Kiasi Helm and I'm 14 years old. I think my genius would probably have to be setting goals and achieving them. I say this because ever since I was young, I always wanted to be an author, and at age 11, I ended up achieving this. But not only did I end up becoming an author, I ended up becoming a public speaker, a publisher, a business owner, all these great things. The name of my business is Written by Kids Publishing Company. I decided to start this company because I thought it was important for me to help kids my age express themselves through literacy and just achieve their own goals. Because to me, achieving goals is the best thing in the world to feel. It's you just achieving things and aspirations that you set for yourself. And I know that everybody is capable of this because even if you don't end up achieving the goal, you still tried your best, and that's the most important thing. And everybody is capable of this because genius is common. Thank you.
Prepare for what's coming and dominate in economic winter. Stand strong and thrive by showcasing your great products and services globally through the Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics. The Black Business Network has showcased over 2,000 companies with over $7 billion in sales each year. Over 10 million attendees have viewed the rebroadcast each month. Through the Black Business Olympics, unique styles of business training and mentoring are turning students into business owners and entrepreneurial warriors who will dominate in any economy. Gain the ultimate advantage of the Black Business Olympics, 7 days of unbelievable topics and speakers speaking around the globe. Donate your time and experience to provide expertise and scholarships to students worldwide and change the world. Now, more than ever, new insights, tools, strategies, and capabilities are needed. This is your chance for a major presentation to the world. Fill out the form and join the more than 2,000 speakers who have presented to over 200 countries. Join the Black Business Network streaming live into the Metaverse, STEM City, Black Multiverse Enterprises, Hulu, Amazon, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pod TV, IBM TV, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Sign up today. Spaces are limited, and we will see you there.